House will come to order. Today's Pledge of Allegiance is by Paul Felix, Aiden Webb, Jackson Ragust from Boy Scout Troop 127 from Centennial, Colorado, and their guests of Representative Buckner.
Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Representatives aren't. Baker J. Baker K. Beckman. Benavides.
There you go. Thank you, Jen.
Bridges. Buck. Buckner. Carver. Catlin. Coleman. Covarrubias. Danielson. Escar. Everett.
Excused.
Exum. Foot. Garnett. Janal. Gray. Representative Gray.
Excuse.
Hamner. Hanson. Harrod. Hooten. Humphrey. Humphrey. Jackson. Kennedy. Kraft Arp. Representative Gray is present. Landgraf. Lawrence. Lebsock. Lebsock.
Excused.
Lee. Lee.
Excused.
Leonard. Lewis. Liston. Lontine. Lundeen. McKean. McLaughlin. Melton. Michelson Janae. Neville. Pabone. Oh. Pedersen. Pedersen.
Excused.
Rankin. Ransom. Ryer. Roberts. Representative Roberts. Representative Lebsock is present.
Excuse.
Rosenthal. Sane. Salazar. Sandridge. Sias. Singer. Representative Roberts is present. Thurlow. Valdez. Van Winkle. Weissman. Willett. Williams. Wilson. Winter. Wist. Young. Young. Oh, good morning. Madam Speaker.
Here.
So I have Everett, Lee, and Pedersen. Representative Pedersen is present. Representative Lee is present.
With 64 present and 1 excuse, we do have a quorum.
Good morning, Connor.
Representative Kennedy. Well, since Representative Kennedy is nowhere to be found, Representative Young.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I move that the reading of the Journal of Friday, February 16th, 2018 be dispensed with and approved as corrected by our marvelous, wonderful Chief Clerk.
All right, members, you have heard the motion. All of those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed signify by saying no. That motion passes.
So we have that on here.
And?
Terribly sorry, Madam Speaker.
Did it pass? Yes.
Further announcements or introductions? Representative Landgraf.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, can I get your attention?
Would you like me to gavel, Representative Landgraf?
I would love you to gavel.
All right.
Thank you, members. This is really important. I want to introduce some women who came from the Ukraine to visit us, and we have representatives from their Congress, their state level, their city council. I think she was, oh, she's back there with the phone, and an entrepreneur. And I encourage you all to go over and say hi. It's just that it's fascinating. It's fascinating. So please introduce yourselves. Thank you for being here.
Further announcements or introductions? Representative Young.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members of Appropriations, we will be having a meeting at 8 o'clock Friday morning this week. The list of the bills have not been determined yet. I think members, you may have received an email indicating your bill would be up this week. I think that was an error. I think all bills currently in the queue for appropriations got that message. And if you got a message, that doesn't necessarily mean your bill is up this week. So stay tuned. Tomorrow I will come back to the well. I will announce the bills actually that will be heard Friday morning in Appropes at 8 o'clock at LSBA. Thank you.
Further announcements or introductions? Representative McKean.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's an honor to serve with you.
It's an honor to serve with you, too.
Asked for and received permission to be off tomorrow for a funeral, so I will not see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Permission granted. Further announcements or introductions? Representative Rosenthal.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And today we're very honored to do a couple tributes. And so I ask for permission to do that.
Yes, just one moment. Members, we have a couple of tributes. Representative Rosenthal.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So first of all, this morning we were very honored. The Black Legislative Caucus and myself were honored to welcome some members of the African American community to the Capitol, particularly to dedicate this morning to the legacy and vision of Daddy Bruce Randolph. And so as you may know, there's a street in Denver named after him. And perhaps would you like to read his?
Sure. Representative Herod.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It is my honor to honor the legacy of Daddy Bruce Randolph. Bruce Randolph goes through the heart of District 8, and we also have Bruce Randolph High School as well. It is such an honor to be able to pay tribute. Bruce Randolph was born February 15th, 1990 in Pastoria, Arkansas, where his family lived on a small farm. He picked cotton for his stepfather before leaving home at the age of 15. He married in 1924 and had 2 sons. He moved to Denver, where he shined shoes and became a janitor. At the age of 63, and with the help of his son, Bruce Randolph Jr., he opened his eatery, Daddy Bruce's Barbecue. For many years, Daddy Bruce donated his own time and money to feed the less fortunate, serving countless Thanksgiving dinners in his community. A man of deep Christian faith, he also gave back by providing clothes and food throughout the year. Daddy Bruce passed away in 1994 at the age of 94. Bruce Randolph Jr. kept his father's legacy alive by opening Daddy Bruce Barbecue in Boulder, which he closed in 2012. Reverend Ronald Wooding has worked tirelessly with the Rudolph family to produce the official documentary, Keep a Light in Your Window, about the legacy of Bruce Randolph and his son. Bruce Randolph Sr. was a rare individual whose passion and persistence still has a positive influence on Colorado, and Bruce Randolph Jr. continues to be a beloved figure in his community, in our community. We, the members of the Colorado House of Representatives, are grateful for the Randolph family and for the many contributions to their community. At this time, I'm going to have them stand.
Yeah, that'd be great.
At this time, we'd love to have the family and friends of Daddy Bruce Randolph please stand to be honored.
Sandridge would like to say a few words. Yeah.
On behalf of the entire General Assembly, thank you so much to the family for being here and all that you do for the Colorado community.
Yeah, he wants to speak to this one, and then we have the other one.
Representative Sandridge.
Well, I have an interesting story about Daddy Bruce. He is the epitome of a community servant. Can you imagine in the 60s and 70s, the Denver Broncos, the players didn't get paid very much, even the third string. He actually invited the third string Denver Broncos to his restaurant to feed them because they didn't get paid so much. So, interesting story about Daddy Bruce.
Times have changed.
Times have changed, haven't they?
Representative Rosenthal.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'd also like to offer a second tribute to the Greater Metropolitan Denver Ministerial Alliance. The GMDMA has proudly served the community of Denver, please stand, for over 70 years. They started work in the early 1940s and has provided unified leadership, spiritual guidance, healing, and restoration for the African American community in the metro area. They champion those who have suffered discrimination and socioeconomic disadvantages. The current president of the Alliance is Pastor Terrence Hughes of the New Covenant Christian Church. He is to be commended for his excellent leadership. The members of the House of Representatives are proud to honor the Alliance. Thank you for all your contributions to the community and wish you well and success in your honorable endeavors. Thank you for all you all do for everybody in the community. Thank you. I'd like to say a few words. It's up to you. Thank you.
All right, thank you, members, for those two lovely tributes. Any further announcements or introductions? Representative Janal and Representative Arndt.
Well, thank you, Madam Speaker, and it's our honor today to welcome into the chamber the mayor of Fort Collins, former state representative Ken Summers, and Councilman Ray Martinez and Councilman Overbeck. They may not be here yet, but they are receiving the Malcolm Baldrige National Quality Award, and they were this is one of the nation's highest presidential honors for performance of excellence in innovation, efficiency, and visionary leadership, and that was presented on November 16th of 2017 to the city of Fort Collins, and I want us to give the city of Fort Collins, the mayor and city councilman, a great hand for doing that for Fort Collins.
And the reason why they're here today is because the governor has a proclamation for them. At the first city council meeting this year, we did a tribute to them, and we'll spare you the wording on that. But we thought it was just amazing that the governor decided to do a full proclamation. That'll be 10:30 in the West Foyer. And we'd love to read that proclamation, but we're pretty sure that the governor wouldn't like it if we read the proclamation before he got to. So you can go down at 10:30 and listen to that. So thank you, Fort Collins, for all you do and for your Excellence Award.
Oh, congratulations. Further announcements or introductions? Representative Beckman.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Please join me in welcoming 30 youngsters from Linsky Elementary, Littleton Public Schools today. They're in the galley. So thank you for being here. Linsky Elementary is one of the best elementary schools in the state of Colorado, and they're joined by their teacher, Miss Brossoli. And welcome to the Capitol. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Representative Wilson. And Representative Beckman.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm going to be joined with Representative Liston. We're going to have another good news report. It's so very exciting what's happening in this country. New home construction rose 9.7% in January 2018. That's good news for all those home buyers. And for those that are interested in affordable housing, the construction of apartments and condos rose 19.7%. That's higher than it's been in 20 months. So that's really good news, and we should be celebrating.
Representative Liston.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. But members, there is some bad news in all sincerity, not to disappoint any people, because there's been a plethora of good news, but there's actually some bad news, good news. The bad news is that Venezuela's oil production has cratered under socialism and under the repressive regime of under President Maduro. Daily oil production has dropped 40% since 2016, causing massive hunger, disease, and rampant inflation. However, there is some good news out of that bad news. The good news is that even though Venezuela's oil production has absolutely cratered, the oil production of the United States has actually gone up to fill that void, creating more jobs in the United States. So that's the good news and the bad news. Thank you very much.
Further announcements or introductions? Representative Wilson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, I'm sure you're all visiting about what Representative Wilson is going to say here at the well, so you've been waiting in eager anticipation for this. I don't know about you all, but I was asked about what'd you do yesterday on President's Day and so forth. I was asked what did Grandpa do for his granddaughter's second birthday Monday. DuPont introduced her to her inheritance. She got to kind of drive her DuPont's 57 Chevy Bel Air. She'll be 16 before you know it, but she was 2 yesterday.
Further announcements or introductions? Any further announcements or introductions? Representative Pabon.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, the Colorado Technology Association's Day at the Capitol is tomorrow Wednesday, February 21st. There will be members of the Colorado tech community here on campus where you can learn more about the tech industry in our state. It will be in the old Supreme Court chambers from noon to 2 p.m., and we hope to see you there. Colorado Technology Association, tomorrow, Wednesday, February 21st, Old Supreme Court Chambers. Lunch is at noon. See you there.
All right, any further announcements or introductions? Going once, going twice. Seeing no further announcements or introductions, Madam Majority Leader Becker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to proceed out of order for the consideration of general order, second reading of bills.
All right, seeing no objection, we will proceed to general order, second reading of bills. All right, Representative Salazar.
Madam Speaker, I move that the House now resolve itself to move itself to the Committee of the Whole for consideration of general orders.
All right, members, you have heard the motion. Seeing no objection, Representative Salazar will take the chair.
The committee will come to order. With your unanimous consent, the bills will be read by title unless there is a request for reading a bill at length. Committee amendments will not be read unless requested, as they are printed and in your bill folders. Floor amendments will be shown on the screen and on your iPads and not read unless requested. Bills will be laid over upon motion of the majority leader, and the Colt rule is relaxed. Mr. Yeah, I thought she was going to come up first. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill or Senate Bill 54.
Senate Bill 54 by Senator Crowder, House Representative Liston, concerning limitation on the amount of increase in fees assessed against assisted living residences by the Department of Health and Environment.
Representative Liston.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Hope you had a good weekend.
Hope you did too.
Thanks. Mr. Chairman, I move Senate Bill 54, and there was no committee report.
To the bill, Representative Liston.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members, in 2012, I sponsored House Bill 1294. Some of the members that have been here, Representative Singer, Representative Young, I know will remember this. Please don't leave the chamber. That bill modified the inspection process of health facilities regulated by the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment. One key component of that legislation limited the Board of Health's ability to increase the healthcare facility licensure fees to no more than the Consumer Price Index. It was the intent of that bill, 1294, that assisted living residences were included under the CPI cap. However, the bill failed to cite a technicality of the licensure fee cash fund, so that cap did not apply. What this bill does, Senate Bill 54, would cap the fee increase, keep it for the assisted living at the inflation rate in line with the other health facilities that were capped under House Bill 1294. It adds the omitted statutory language to the statute, and it does not change the ability of the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment to come to the legislature to seek a fee increase that is larger than the CPI. There was an amendment added that allowed the CDPHE to still raise the fee in 2018, and that's what the bill does, and I would ask for an aye vote. Thank you.
Representative Lepsak.
Representative Liston, I took interest in this bill. As soon as this bill was introduced, I read the title and I read the introduced version of the bill and wrote down that I wanted to be a co-sponsor on it because I like the bill so much. I have one concern. Before the bill left the Senate, there was, and you spoke to it just briefly in your introduction a minute ago, the concern that I have is that when the bill was first introduced, it said the bill specifies that the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment cannot increase fees faster than the inflation rate. And I agree with that. But what the bill was amended in the Senate, and I don't know if you know the reason why it was amended in the Senate, but it was amended in the Senate to say that CDPHE could still do any kind of fee increase they want to all of 2018, and the bill would not take effect until 2019. And so my question is, if the bill was solid as it was introduced, and it's correct to say to CDPHE, the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment, you should not increase fees faster than the inflation rate, why is it that we amended the bill, and who came to the bill sponsors, and why did it get amended in the Senate to say that the CDPHE could make any fee increase they wanted to in 2018, but they wouldn't be able to have any limitations at all until 2019?
Representative Liston.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Representative Lebsack, thank you for your astute observation. Yes, the introduced version did not was to allow or not allow the CDPHE to raise their fees in 2018, but the conversations that they obviously had with the Senate sponsor, Senator Crowder, is that they felt, I was not subject to the discussion of that they needed the fee increases. In a perfect world, I agree. I would not have wanted the fee increases to be greater than the CPI in 2018. I agree with you 100%, but we did not want to have a butt heads, and as a result of allowing the amendment, the CDPHE was neutral on the bill, so that's why we had the amendment. Like I say, in a perfect world, it'd be great to keep those fees down this year, but the Senate, in their infinite wisdom, they caved, and so that's where we're at, and that's why we have it. So with that, I hope that answers your question. I would ask for an aye vote on Senate Bill 54. Thank you, members.
Thank you, Representative Liston. Is there any further discussion on Senate Bill 54? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 54. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Senate Bill 54 passes. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move to lay over House Bill 1127 2 days till Thursday, February 22nd.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, House Bill 1127 will be laid over as requested by the Majority Leader. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move to lay over House Bill 1172 till Friday, February 23rd.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, House Bill 1172 will be laid over as requested by the Majority Leader. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1154 or 1134.
House Bill 1134 by Representatives Pedersen and Wilson, House Senators Merrifield, Martinez, and Minnick, concerning eligibility of kindergarten students funded through early childhood at-risk enhancement positions.
Who wants to go up? Representative Pedersen.
Go ahead.
We don't have a committee report. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move House Bill 1134. That's it.
There's no committee report?
No committee report.
To the bill, Representative Pedersen.
Thank you. This is a very important bill that came out of our School Readiness, Early Childhood and School Readiness Commission. Representative Wilson and I worked on that over the summer. This is a bill to ensure that our CPP slots, that our e-care slots have the same standards as CPP, and it's going to be targeted to some of the most at-risk kids who need the dollars the most.
Representative Wilson.
Why is
Thank you,
everyone
Mr. Chair. This bill is basically about choice. Whether you agree or disagree with the e-care process, this bill allows your school districts the choice of how to utilize those e-care slots, following the criteria that is already in statute. And just FYI, in prior sessions, I fought the addition of e-care slots without allowing the district the choice of how to use them. That's why I like this bill, because you have that choice. It clarifies the criteria and allows districts to apply to those criteria to their decision to place children in kindergarten slots or not. Good bill, vote yes.
Thank you very much, Representatives Pedersen and Wilson. Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1134? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of House Bill 1134. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. House Bill 1134 passes. Mr. Randall, please read the title to Senate Bill 25.
Senate Bill 25 by Senator Priola, also Representative Coleman, concerning modernization of election procedures for the Urban Drainage and Flood Control District to conform with the current regulations of state law.
Representative Coleman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move Senate Bill 1825 and the committee reports.
Which committee reports?
No committee reports. I'm sorry, Mr.
No
Chair.
committee reports to the bill. Representative Coleman.
Members of the public, Mr. Chair, and House members, I'd like to start by thanking you for the opportunity to present this bill today. Determining the best measures to keep our families and communities safe during natural disasters is no easy task. And as most of you have seen or experienced, Colorado has been profoundly impacted by floods throughout the last few years. The dynamic nature of the flood's impact has resulted in a high financial and emotional cost for many Coloradans. This bill seeks to modernize the election procedures of the Urban Drainage and Flood Control District that have not changed since 1992. This bill aims to make changes to the district's elections so that they conform to the current requirements of state law. The UDFCD needs this cleanup to continue to protect Coloradans from flood fatalities and dangers. More specifically, this bill conforms the definitions of elector, registered elector, special election, election, publication, and tax-paying elector to current law. Clarifies that UDFCD may hold independent or coordinated elections paying for its portion of the shared population, and coordinated elections or its share of the ballot items, and it makes the annexation election process concerning ballot measures conform to the current special district inclusion election ballot measure process, specifically stating how questions will be appear on the ballot. I ask for a yes vote on SB 1825.
Thank you, Representative Coleman. Is there any further discussion on Senate Bill 25? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 25. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Senate Bill 25 passes. Mr. Randall, please. You ready, buddy? Please read the title of House Bill 1047.
House Bill 1047 by Representative Montino, Senator Gardner, concerning technical modifications to the Fair Campaign Practices Act to facilitate its administration.
Representative Lontine.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move House Bill 1047 and the committee report.
To the committee report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The committee report adds definition of contribution, clarifies some roles of the Secretary of State's office, and replaces the petition clause with a safety clause.
Is there any further discussion on the committee report? So the question before us is adoption of the committee report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Committee report passes. To the bill, Representative Lontine.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good bill, vote yes.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of House Bill 1047. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. House Bill 1047 passes. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House... Mr. Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move to lay over House Bill 1138 till the end of the calendar today.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, House Bill 1138 will be laid over as requested by the Assistant Majority Leader. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1227.
House Bill 1227 by Representative Harrod West, also Senator Cook, concerning the authority of the Real Estate Commission to issue licenses for initial period of less than 3 years.
Representative West.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move House Bill 1227 and the Business Affairs and Labor Committee report.
To the committee report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members, the House Business Affairs and Labor Committee added one technical amendment which removes 1992 as the date of commencement for renewal of license rules. Licensees applying for a real estate license of less than 3 years will be required to complete the Colorado portion of the real estate exam or 24 hours of credit within the license period. So it's simply to clarify that period. Ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion on the Business Committee report? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of the Business Committee report. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The Business Committee report passes. To the bill, Representative Herod.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. House Bill 1227 is a result of Legal Services Committee action. During the interim session, the committee voted 9-0 in favor of the department to seek legislative authority to align dates for initial licensing and renewal dates. The legislation grants the appropriate authority to the Real Estate Commission and the Department of Regulatory Agencies and conforms initial and reinstatement license period to a single renewal date. Transitioning these dates initially was a recommendation from the 2017 Sunset Review, and the industry supports this change. I ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1227? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of House Bill 1227. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, no. House Bill 1227 passes. Mr. Randall, please read the title of Senate Bill 67.
Senate Bill 67 by Senators Zenzinger, Apariello, House Representative Kraft, Tharp, and Van Winkle, concerning the ability of certain organizations conducting a special event to auction alcohol beverages and sealed containers for fundraising purposes under specified circumstances.
Representative Kraft Tharp.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move Senate Bill 67. There is no committee report.
To the bill.
Thank you. So this bill came from an idea from Lorraine and Homer Anderson in Arvada, and they live in Representative Sias's district. And they Homer Anderson runs an organization called Jenny's Kids, and they were having a fundraiser with a silent auction. And in that silent auction, they had wine bottles in baskets, and people would come in and they would bid on those wine baskets. They would buy them, and then they would take those wine baskets off premises to their homes. Well, how many of you have also participated in such an event? And I would say the majority of you. So what you probably do not realize is that that does not meet liquor enforcement code. And so this bill will take care of that.
Representative Van Winkle.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As you know, auctions like these are a very important source of income for nonprofits, and this is a very silly regulation that we are helping to get rid of. The bill is very thoughtfully written. There are many guardrails put into it for public safety, and I urge an aye vote.
Representative Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For the bill sponsors, in case you plan on celebrating after this bill passes, I would donate my auctioneering services to you at no charge.
Thank you.
That was an interesting offer. Is there any further discussions or any further offers? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 67. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. Senate Bill 67 passes. Mr. Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move to lay over House Bill 1097 till February 22nd.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, House Bill 1097 will be laid over as requested by the Majority Leader. Mr. Randall, please read the title of Senate Bill 50.
Senate Bill 50 by Senator Smallwood, House Representatives Coleman and Catlin, concerning including staff of freestanding emergency facilities as part of Colorado Safe Haven laws.
Representative Coleman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move Senate Bill 50 and the Health Insurance and Environment Committee reports.
To the Health Insurance and Environment Committee report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The committee report ensures community clinic emergency centers both deliver emergency services and provide emergency care 24/7, and amends the definition of a community clinic emergency center to make facilities affiliated, owned, or operated by a hospital eligible to be safe haven clinics. I ask for an aye vote on the committee report.
Is there any further discussion on the Health Insurance Environment Committee report? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of the Health Insurance Environment Committee report. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The Health Insurance Environment Committee report passes. To the bill, Representative Coleman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. What we propose here is expanding Colorado's safe haven laws to include staff members of community clinic emergency centers as persons allowed to take temporary physical custody of infants 72 hours old or younger when the infant is voluntarily surrendered by its parent or parents. We ask for a yes vote on SB 1850.
Representative Catlin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Chair.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. I'm new at this.
That's okay.
Thank you. I'm on this bill with Representative Coleman because I like the idea that we give children and babies that are less than 72 hours old an opportunity to be saved and to live a life of meaning. This is an opportunity to where we expand the places that people could go with immunity to leave off a child that may make somebody else's life so much fuller and so whole. This is an opportunity for me to offers me the opportunity to do something good for the people that I do not know. This is something that I would offer as a good bill. Please, I'd ask for a yes vote.
Is there any further discussion on Senate Bill 50? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 50. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Senate Bill 50 passes. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move to lay over House Bill 1143 till Thursday, February 22nd.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, House Bill 1143 will be laid over as requested by the Majority Leader. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1210.
House Bill 1210 by Representative Foote, House Senator Cook, concerning peace officer status for the Administrator of Judicial Security in the Colorado Judicial Department.
Where is Representative Foote? Representative Foote.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's an honor and a pleasure to serve with you.
Same here, my friend.
Mr. Chair, I move House Bill 1210. There is no committee report.
To the bill, Representative Foote.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. House Bill 1210 is a simple bill, actually. It requires that a court security officer, one that works for judicial, that goes around to different courthouses, that assists the court security by sheriffs, must be a post-certified individual. So they have to go through the 6 months post-certification like any other peace officer. And the theory is if they're going to be performing peace officer duties and assistance of court security around the state, they should have the same kind of training as other officers do. And this bill mandates that that particular position must be post-certified. So ask for an aye vote.
Representative Melton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's an honor and a pleasure to serve with you.
It is such a pleasure to serve with you, my friend.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussions besides praising each other? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of House Bill 1210. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. House Bill 1210 passes. We are moving along, Mr. Randall. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1103.
House Bill 1103 by Representative McLaughlin, House Senator Quorum, concerning the ability of a local government to require a driver to meet safety standards for the use of an off-highway vehicle.
Representative McLaughlin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, I would like to move House Bill 1103 and the Transportation Committee report.
Okay, to the Transportation Committee report.
Yes, in the report they made some few technical corrections, but it was all good, very friendly.
Is there any further discussion on the Transportation Committee report? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of the Transportation Committee report. Those in favor say aye. Are you going to say aye for yourself, Representative McLaughlin?
Aye.
There we go. Opposed, no. The Transportation Committee report passes. Representative McLaughlin.
Thank you. This bill increases safety issues for off-highway vehicles, particularly down in my neck of the woods. And all of the counties that are involved, it's an optional thing to do, but they've all decided to join in on this, and any other county in Colorado is welcome to join in.
Fabulous. Thank you very much, Representative McLaughlin. Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1103? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of House Bill 1103. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. House Bill 1103 passes. Hello there. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1143. 1138, is that where we're at? Of House Bill 1138.
House Bill 1138 by Representative Martin, all Senators Zenzinger, concerning standardizing public official oaths of office in connection with providing uniform oath text and establishing requirements for taking, subscribing, administering, and filing public oaths of office.
Representative Art.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is a statutory, I move House Bill 1138 and the committee report.
To the committee report, Representative Art.
Thank you very much. In the Committee on State Veterans and Military Affairs, that we had an amendment that was requested by the special districts, which we accepted because of the way they do their oaths and affirmations, and it had to do with when and where they file them. And I urge an aye vote on the amendment.
Is there any further discussion on the State Veterans Military Affairs Committee report? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of the State Veterans Military Affairs Committee report. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The State Veterans Military Affairs Committee report passes. To the bill, Representative Arndt.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. This is a statutory revision committee bill, and it came out of a bill that I did last year that had to do with oaths of office. And so I asked a staff member to do a simple little project and find out who's taking oaths in our state, what they're saying, and where they're filed. Well, 14 months later, we're getting to this bill. That was a huge project, and what we're doing is truing up the statutes with the oaths and affirmations and where they're filed. And I believe we have an amendment, second reading amendment.
Okay, are you done speaking then?
I am done.
Okay, Representative Leonard.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Representative Art. Hopefully this is a friendly amendment. We did get to talk about this, and I move L002 and ask for it to be displayed.
Amendment L002 is properly before us and displayed. Please proceed, Representative Leonard.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is a little bit of wordsmithing in here. These statutory revision changes are meant to just clarify and simplify and even modernize. And this one happened to move and add in a different kind of a swearing process. And so what this amendment clarifies is that in the previous statute, swearing is that the person raises their hand and swears by the ever-living God. And if they choose not to do so, they can affirm their rights without having to take an oath. And so this moves it back a little bit to where it was in the statute itself, and still requires the raising of the hand and the option to be able to swear by the ever-living God or to affirm without a raising of the hand. So I did talk to Representative Art, and this is a friendly amendment, but she can speak to that, and I would ask for your aye vote.
Representative Art.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Representative Leonard. Representative Leonard had this concern in committee, and then he wrote to me in detail this weekend. I forward those, the proposed amendment and concerns to the rest of the SRC committee, and we feel on the SRC committee, we have a philosophy that we don't want to make substantive changes, and that could bring our whole committee down. And then Representative Leonard worked very well with the bill drafter to make sure that the intent was within what the charge of the committee is. And this is a friendly amendment, and I thank him for tucking in, reading all the statutes, lining it up, and bringing an amendment that we see as very friendly. So I urge an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion about L002? The question before us is the adoption of L002. Those in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. L002 passes. Representative Arndt.
Thank you very much, members. This is detailed, and as Representative Leonard said, thankless work, but it's not. It's cleaning up the statutes is harder than it looks,
and I appreciate all the committees of reference in your time and due diligence when we bring these bills to you. We all together, working together, make it better, and we can clean up our statutes in a way that's non-political, and we keep the integrity of the committee going, and at the same time, removing things from our statutes that are no longer relevant to our daily lives. And I urge an aye vote.
Thank you very much, Representative Arndt. Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1138? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of House Bill 1138. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. House Bill 1138 passes. Sorry, Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move to lay over the balance of the calendar till, no? Oh, I move that we rise and report.
You have heard the motion. Seeing no objection, the committee will rise and report.
The House will come back to order. Mr. Randall, please read the report of the Committee of the Whole.
Madam Speaker, your committee hold a legislative report has consideration following touch bills being the secretary and they makes the following recommendations are on House Bill 1047 is amended, House Bill 1103 is amended, House Bill 1134, House Bill 1138 is amended, House Bill 1210, House Bill 1227 is amended, passed second reading and grace please count for third reading and final passage. Senate Bill 25, Senate Bill 50, Senate Bill 54, Senate Bill 67, passed second reading and revised, please count for third reading and final passage. House Bill 1097, House Bill 1127, House Bill 1143 laid over until February 22nd, 2018, retaining in place on the calendar. House Bill 1172 laid over until February 23rd, 2018, retaining its place on the calendar.
Representative Salazar. All right, members, you have heard the motion. There were no amendments at the desk. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Members, we are voting on the report of the Committee of the Whole. Representative Buckner is excused. Please close the machine. With 64 yes votes, 0 no votes, and 1 excuse, the report of the Committee of the Whole is adopted. All right. Announcements and introductions. Announcements and introductions. Representative Kraft-Tharp.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So Business Affairs and Labor Committee will be hearing 3 bills today. We'll be hearing House Bill 1198, Senate Bill 124, Senate Bill 126. Business Affairs and Committee members, please note we will not be hearing House Bill 1214 today. Thank you.
All right. Further announcements or introductions. Representative Janal.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Upon adjournment, and quickly upon adjournment, we will be meeting in 107 for Health Insurance and Environment. We'll be hearing 1 bill, and that is 1112. So please, upon adjournment, please be down in 107. Thank you.
Further announcements and introductions. Representative Landgraf and Representative Liston.
Thank you, members. We have somebody new up here to make an announcement.
Oh, it's me, Madam Speaker. Thank you. Members, I would like to encourage you next Monday to come to the Veterans Caucus. That will be next Monday, February the 26th, in the State Services Building, room 603. The topic will be women veterans. So I hope you will come. It will be a good lunch and a great topic.
Further announcements and introductions, Representative Landgraf.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This will be a very good topic. Lunch is always delicious. You do need to RSVP to Jerry by the 22nd, which is in 2 days.
Very good. See you all next Monday.
All right, Representative Beckman.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This Friday is the Legislative Caucus on Aging, and they will present senior housing needs forecasts, gaps, and opportunities in Colorado. It will be held at the state capitol, a change from 1525 in House Committee Room 0107. So I hope you can join the Senior Caucus on this Friday and learn about seizing senior housing opportunities. Thank you.
Representative Singer.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members of the Public Health Care and Human Services Committee, we look forward to seeing you today at 1:30. And due to your due diligence and Representative Buckner's even greater diligence, House Bill 1187 will not be heard, which means we will only be hearing 5 bills today. So looking forward to seeing you all at 1:30. House Committee Room 107, 1187 will be laid over, and we'll hear the other 5.
All right, further announcements or introductions? Seeing no further announcements or introductions, Madam Majority Leader Becker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to lay over the balance of the calendar till tomorrow, to Wednesday, February 21st.
All right, seeing no objection, the balance of the calendar will be laid over. Madam Majority Leader Becker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the House stand in recess till 1 o'clock today.
All right, seeing no objection, the House will stand in recess until 1 p.m. today.